In 1984, Detroit was a city scarred by hardship. Factories shut their doors. Unemployment soared. Blocks that once thrived were left to fade. But even in the struggle, Detroit never lost its pride. Because that year, something special happened. From every corner of the Motor City, fans rallied behind the Tigers.
The 1984 Detroit Tigers.
Baseball wasn't just a game in Detroit. It was a lifeline, a celebration, a second chance. And with every swing, every pitch, every victory, the city found its voice. And once more, Detroit roared.
Welcome to the Metrodome in Minnesota. I'm George Kell along with Al Kaline. It's opening day of the baseball season. There's been several games played during the afternoon. The Tigers opening here in just a couple of moments.
It began with a win.
And he hits it up the middle off the foot of the pitcher, and it's going to be a base hit for Herndon.
Then another. And another. The Tigers opened the 1984 season 9-0, then 19-3, then 35-5. The best start in Major League Baseball history.
But it's a different feeling with the fans here today. I know going through from the locker room to get upstairs here, everybody says we're going to go all the way in '84, and certainly that's the way the Tigers hope it ends up. It's a long season to go yet.
At the helm, Sparky Anderson. A silver-haired field general with a Hall of Fame mind and a prophet's confidence. He'd already conquered the National League. Now, he was about to do the same in the American.
Well, you know, I don't get uneasy. I get professional, I think. When you're winning, keep your mouth shut. Don't be getting too carried away, because I've been on the other end. You know, I don't like that other manager or other players looking to hear what I got to say when we're winning. So I don't say too much when we're winning. I'll say more when we're losing than when we're winning.
This team was no accident.
And it's a strike.
It was built with grit and balance, with players who fit the city they played for. Jack Morris, fire on the mound.
What's the one question you haven't been asked yet? Can you think of one?
Well, the only question that kind of went through my mind is, Jack Morris, do you think you could have hit Jack Morris the other day? And
Could you have?
I can hit anybody.
Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker, a brotherhood forged in the minors, and a double-play machine. Lance Parrish, Chet Lemon.
As well as, for example, Lemon hitting .368 with 5 RBIs and more great outfieldings.
And Kirk Gibson, raw, explosive, relentless. One-man storm.
He has 2 homers already and 3 extra base hits. Ooh, watch out for a trim down and determined.
Together, they weren't just a team. They were a force.
ABC Sports presents Monday Night Baseball. Tonight from Tiger Stadium, it's the New York Yankees against the Detroit Tigers.
As the summer wore on, the Tigers didn't slow down. They outplayed the Yankees, the Orioles, the Blue Jays. Each win made it more real. The city began to believe.
Warm, muggy night in Detroit. Again, the Tigers on Monday Night Baseball. Dave Bergman hit that dramatic home run 2 weeks ago to get this series started.
Tiger Stadium rocked every night. From kids in the bleachers to factory workers in the cheap seats. They came to see a team that made them proud. By September, the division was theirs to lose, but they never blinked.
I'm Fred McLeod, live at Tiger Stadium. The Tigers have done it. The Tigers have clinched the American League East Championship.
On September 18th, they clinched the American League East.
Party time in Detroit.
The Tigers were the best team in baseball.
3-0, and it's celebration time. The players are trying to wind their way into the clubhouse.
But now, they had to prove it.
Championship Series, live from Royal Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. featuring the Detroit Tigers, winners of 104 games in the East.
The playoffs began with the Kansas City Royals, a team with speed, power, and postseason experience.
It is a beautiful, cloudless, windless night here live at Royal Stadium for Game 1, the Detroit Tigers against the Kansas City Royals.
But Detroit came in cold-blooded.
Get that pitch out over the plate, lose it.
Line drive, base hit into right center field. 2-2 to Trammell, hit to deep left field. Motley going all the way back, and it's up against the fence and rolling back.
Game 1, win.
Comes in to score. Trammell's going third. The throw is offline. And
Game 2, win.
He is lined to right field, but a right to Gibson, and the Tigers go home to Detroit, needing one win for the American League pennant, as the Tigers win it in 11 innings in Kansas City by a score of 5-3.
Game 3, the sweep.
Popped up is down, round, and playable, and the Tigers win the pennant.
The Royals never had time to adjust. It was almost over before it started. The Tigers didn't just win the pennant, they ripped it from the league. And now, one final opponent stood between Detroit and baseball immortality.
Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, scene of Game 1 of the 1984 World Series. Temperature in the 70s, a beautiful night for a big ball game.
The final test came from the West, the San Diego Padres. The Padres were tough, young, and confident. They were fresh off a miracle comeback against the Cubs.
A one-hopper to Nettles, to Wiggins, and the Padres have the National League pennant.
Game 1, Tigers strike first.
This ought to do it. Bergman to the bag, and the lights go out on Game 1 in San Diego.
Game 2, San Diego answers.
Alan Wiggins has it, and everything's coming up roses for the Padres.
Then came Game 3, then 4, all Detroit.
For Detroit, a 4-2 win on Morris's finicky 5-hitter.
Game 5, back home at Tiger Stadium. One win away. The air was thick. The noise never stopped. And the Tigers were ready to finish it.
NBC Sports presents the 1984 World Series. Today, Game 5, the San Diego Padres versus the Detroit Tigers.
Shell-shocked, San Diego is once more in the hole. For the 5th time in 5 games, the Tigers have struck first. Gibson's blast has Detroit up 2-0. Take up! The sacrifice scores a second run, and the Padres are fighting back.
Bottom of the 8th, Tigers up. Goose Gossage on the mound.
First base open, and they will walk Gibson, I believe.
Kurt Gibson at the plate. Sparky gives the sign, and Gibson doesn't wait.
And there it goes!
3-run homer, Tiger Stadium, a madhouse. A few outs later, it was done. The Detroit Tigers were world champions.
Here's Sparky. Jim Campbell, the president of the ball club, is also here. And on the line, I believe, the president of the United States. Sparky?
Mr. President,
I know that you were a great Cubs fan, but I know if you seen these kids, you'd be a Tiger fan. Well, Mr. President, I know you love those Cubs, but if you knew around these Tigers, you'd love them more.